Hi, my name is Clay, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first long-form YouTube video that I posted, because I posted a couple more shorts on my page, but I thought that it'd be nice to do a formal introduction, meet the artist, yap about my art, the things I like, things I don't like. I would describe myself as a mixed media artist. I love to use both traditional and digital materials. And in terms of traditional materials, I like to use anything from watercolor, ink, marker, colored pencils, acrylic, gel crayons, regular crayons, and anything that's sort of in my vicinity, as I like to make art at my desk, and I have like boxes and bags of art supplies sort of surrounding me. For digital drawing, my supplies are more pared down, so I have a drawing tablet from Huion. And I have two. I have like a larger one, like it's not very big, but it's decent size, and then I have a smaller one that fits like in my backpack, so I can like take it with me and travel, like take it with me on planes and when I travel, or when I just like leave the house to go draw. It's more compact, easier to take around. But why didn't I tell you what I'm drawing on screen? As you can see, I'm filling in some watercolor by this point. And these are my alien OCs, slash my sort of alien cat creature that is on the left-hand side. They're currently unnamed, because I just wanted to start off with my own original characters before maybe I potentially transition to drawing fan art and drawing other IPs, since, I want my art to feature, I want my channel to feature my own art. But if you have any suggestions for names, please leave them down below. So why didn't I tell you about why I started this channel? Because starting a YouTube channel is a pretty, it takes time, it takes effort. I want to use this as a way to, show my art progression and show how far I've come. I also kind of want to use it as a way to sort of catalog my own sketchbooks. Now, I have a lot of sketchbooks, and so it would take an incredibly long time to film, edit, voiceover, all that, but I thought I would at least have a couple on here, that way, in case if I ever, have to move with the sketchbooks or they get lost, which, God forbid, I don't want that to happen, because I've spent a lot of time, and there's a lot of them, but that way, I have sort of a record of my past art, and that way I can just, flip through videos and look at them. So, besides creating, the occasional reel, short post on my other socials, I've also created a webtoon called Nix's Cat Cafe. It was a project that took me a little under a year, and it really showed me how much time goes into creating webtoon, because, I was a single artist. I was doing all the character designs, the flat colors, the shading, the backgrounds, and it really just showed me, if I wanted to do longer form projects, how long that would take. Besides, creating stories, I love, as you can see, filling up sketchbooks. I have a lot of them. My advice for filling them up, would be just put stuff in them. I have an Oreo, box that are sort of flattened down. It kind of covers the page, so it's the front and back is the Oreos. And then I have a garlic bread box that's also in my sketchbooks, also make them chunky, and, you don't necessarily have to fill those pages with any art. You can just keep collaging them. When I am not sketching, I'm probably doing some version of reading, whether that be manga, anime, fan fiction, or watching anime. I've been actually really big into that. I'm currently watching One Piece, which is amazing. Highly recommend you go watch it. It is long. I won't sugarcoat that. I'm currently on episode 800, or at least I'm close to 800. I'm 4 or 5 episodes away. And then I'm also watching Gachiakuta, which I think has beautiful storytelling, as well as just art direction, the mix of graffiti, I think is a really cool element in the game. And then video games. This I've been off and on. I've been playing a lot on Steam, and so some of my favorite games from there are Needy Streamer Overload, Hades, and I have a love of fishing games, so if I ever see a fishing game that piques my interest, I'm like, ooh, because I like to wander around, fish, see my whole catalog of what I've collected. Besides that, Mario Kart 8, Wii Sports Resorts, specifically the bowling, that was always fun, and Just Dance, any version. I actually didn't even realize how many versions of Just Dance there were out there. I think I maybe had the 2018, 2020 version, but it's crazy. Besides that, I also play gacha games. One cannot play gacha games without mentioning Hoyoverse. I've played most of their games, from Honkai Impact the Third to Honkai Star Rail to Genshin Impact. And then right now I'm playing Zenless Zone Zero. So, if you're playing that, tell me who your favorite character is. And then anime. Oh my god, anime has been a huge part of my art journey. Especially looking at previous sketchbooks, you could tell where I was like, I verbatim copied a design, and I was like, oh my god, this is this one anime character from a show I was watching. And it's slowly been incorporated into my style. But I've been on the mix of watching anime and then more indie productions like Glitch, the studio behind The Amazing Digital Circus, Knights of Guinevere, and a few other shows. That's also been a big inspiration in my art because storytelling, even though I don't plan on making any sort of animated content, I really have a passion for storytelling, and watching those kinds of shows has really shown me the potential. Besides that, other animated media that I love consuming, My Little Pony, Chainsaw Man, the manga, anime, and the movie. The movie was amazing. I went to go see it with friends. I loved the animation in it. It was so fluid. Alright, Ghost in the Shell. I love the sci-fi movies, and especially the movie. Not how it kind of almost looks retro and nostalgic now. The fact that it was all done by hand. And it really has this beautiful tint to it. And it's very fluid animations, as well as the show Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. My Happy Marriage. I love just the relationship the two main characters have. Steven Universe, again, that was a formative animated show that I not only watched by myself but also with my whole family. Adventure Time, I watched that recently over the summer, and I think Marceline I love drawing her. I've done a couple of drawings of her. And Delicious in Dungeon. Again, the way the animation, the concept, the food was drawn beautifully, and it really made it look like you could actually eat it. But the top slot for my favorite anime, and this is an anime movie, has to go to Ponyo, by the Studio Ghibli. Again, this was one of the first anime movies I think I ever saw, and so it holds a special place. Again, the colors, the food. I love anime that represent food because they always do it in such a beautiful way. And then I mentioned briefly manga. I haven't read a lot of manga, as I've been doing a lot of art and other projects, but one that really comes to mind is Land of the Lustrous. If you ever read that, there's an anime for it, which I also highly recommend because I think it's really pretty, and I think that, even though it's more 3D animation, I think that it still gets the point across, but the manga, since it's done, in black and white, I think has a more, impactful touch, especially with the gem hair and the gem bodies. But this couldn't be, Meet the Artist if I didn't tell you my likes and my dislikes. So let's go down the list, shall we? Math. All right. Math is actually it can be fun sometimes, but when they started adding letters to math, I don't know. I think I was wait, no, go back to the simpler times. I don't really like the cold. I'm more of a summer person anyways, but the cold is just it's snowing, there's ice, it's pretty, but I'd much rather be at the beach with the sun. Sure, you might get a little sunburn or a little tan, but, better than being out in the cold. I don't like oil paints. I've tried to use them a couple times, once or twice, and they just don't really vibe with me, but I think that's because a lot of it was self-taught. So if anyone has any recommendations for good oil painting tutorials, that'd be great, because I was painting outside in my backyard, and I got the horrible headache from using them. That might be user error, but, maybe I'll look into the future. Alright, sudden loud noises. If you know me in person, you would know that anytime there's a sudden loud noise, you drop a book, a chair moves, someone slams the door, I jump 30 feet in the air. It's very noticeable. To the point where other people will be like, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I'm just I just get freaked out by sudden loud noises. But the worst thing, out of that entire list, not having enough sketchbooks. And then the worst cousin to that, having too many excess sketchbooks where you're oh, I have too many now. But not having enough sketchbooks sucks because it's then you have to go use random sheets of paper and notepads, and then you have to make sure you don't lose those because you've just lost the sketches on them. I made some really like, a formative art experience for many people was, making art on random pieces of paper, and then it being taken, especially during like testing, and then be like, I just made my masterpiece. But let's get back into, the future of this channel. I know obviously I've only made one video, but I plan to make more. So I plan on making some more sketchbook content, some more draw with me's. I plan on staying away from like more like art drama, because this channel is about my art growth and showing the artists I love and the mediums and like the shows and movies and books that I enjoy. And art drama can get controversial, and I don't really want to stay on that side of the internet. That's the reason I deleted TikTok in the first place. And so yeah, if you have any like things you want to see from me, like for example, I made some keychains. I made some art that I turned into keychains on Vogue Race that are coming. I might honestly show the before and after, because it's the first time I've like turned my art into something physical. Like I've done like a sticker sheet, but like keychains would be kind of cool to like show. But yeah, I still have some more of the video left, as you can see as you're watching. So feel free to stick around and see the final piece. If you want to see my art, the links are in my bio. I hope you always have, a plethora of inspiration to pull from, and that your Pinterest feed always has what you're looking for. Bye!